starting grid. It's Wyndham, Langston, Pastrana, Chad Reed, David Villeman, Nathan Ramsey. It is a star-studded event, Cameron Steele.
Isn't it always? I mean, the best of the best race Supercross right here in the United States, and these guys are ready to throw down in St. Louis.
34 is sideways. The 250 main is off. Michael Byrne with a great drive, but look at Grant Langston coming to the inside. Nathan Ramsey, number 25, goes high and outside, and he will pick up the Butterfinger hole shot. Travis Pastrana on the inside, Langston right next to him, and there's Damon Huffman, but Chad Reed slides underneath him, so Reed goes into third, and here comes Pastrana. Pastrana having problems, goes down hard. Grant Langston goes right over the top of Travis Pastrana.
And Travis looking like he was trying to find a way to work some of that rhythm section. Unable to do it, he comes up a straight case in the middle, high sides over the motorcycle, and Grant Langston had nowhere to go, and it's going to take Grant out as well. We can only wish the best for Travis Pastrana, the oft-injured star.
Well, let's look at the whole shot of the Butterfinger replay real quick. Watch the center of your screen. A lot of guys getting a great drive, Cameron.
A lot of guys getting tons of speed and going around the outside, but how it's gone every time they go to the inside and someone's there to battle for it, but this time Nate Ramsey was able to hold it from the outside, and Travis Pastrana, you see coming short, then going up, and he actually goes on the inside. Doesn't look like a big get-off, but the problem is Grant Langston.
Watch this onboard. This is going to be scary. Here it is. He's going to come up short right here. Gets squirrely. And here's where he goes down. Now, Grant Langston has nowhere to go. Well, Travis Pastrana is standing right now. That's the good news.
And we all know that Travis Pastrana has had problems with his knees, and he's been recuperating from knee problems. He doesn't have a lot of cartilage in his knees, so sometimes when he goes down or when he has a shock, it goes right in between.
We're racing still, though. Yep. Nathan Ramsey's still out in front, Cameron, excuse me, but Chad Reed has now moved into second. Watch this. The triple-triple combination from 22, but Ramsey shuts him down.
The 25 moves over, takes the line. Smart racing from Nate Ramsey, but you got to ask yourself, how long can he hold Chad Reed back? Reed with the fastest lap times, fastest practice times, and more wins than anybody else.
Chad Reed, we've talked about the injury he had last week in Daytona. He was injured yesterday in practice. Very sore is what his mechanic and the folks at Yamaha have to say. But Chad Reed always does what is necessary to pick up the victory. And here he is. He is hounding Nate Ramsey, your leader, number 25 on board the Honda. Reed, number 22 on board the Yamaha. Currently your overall leader in the series, and here he comes.
Reed knows he has to get the charge and get in front because Kevin Wyndham is not far behind in third place. And Reed making it past Ramsey and then getting the triple. You saw Ramsey get the one section of it, but not all of it. And here comes Wyndham also getting the section right behind Nate Ramsey.
Wyndham able to triple through there, so Ramsey has problems on his back door, and it is the form of number 14, Kevin Wyndham, who is slid into third. Ramsey now becomes a buffer between Wyndham and Reed. A lot of people turning out to see this battle, and it'll be interesting. Kevin Wyndham completely healthy, Chad Reed banged up, and Wyndham just goes right by Ramsey.
And the interesting thing about that, I talked to Kevin Wyndham, and he said, you know, like I was saying earlier, he doesn't care about practice lap time. Ramsey was the second fastest, and Kevin Wyndham was actually down there just a little bit, fourth place, but it looks like right now he is pulling on Chad Reed quite a bit. We'll see.
And Cameron, he did exactly, as we look at this replay one more time, watch Chad Reed. Here's his section as he goes through the whoop section. Launches, gets in the perfect position. Ramsey has nothing to do about it. So Chad Reed out in front. Kevin Wyndham currently sitting in second. Let's check in with Jamie Little.
Travis, gnarly get off. What happened? Is it your knee again?
I got my leg run over. I think I broke my leg. So I messed up through this section. I was just overexcited. It's so good to be back. It just reminds you why I'm always off.
Always in good spirits, Trav. We're thinking about it.
All right, so we send our best out to Travis Pastrana. Cameron, you hope it's not broken, but man, that's just terrible. Meanwhile, back to racing action. Kevin Windham has actually closed in just a little bit on Chad Reed. Now watch the section as they come around one more time. In practice yesterday, Kevin Windham was wheeling through the whip section. The front tire wasn't even touching. His mechanic said he was messing with the other riders and telling them, oh, my front forks aren't working. But he was, by design, going through his back wheel because he said it just saved the speed.
Well, they're going to come through right here where the finish line will be to check another lap. Let's check the times on that last lap. And Windham 0.4 of a second faster than Chad Reed.
So the battle is on from St. Louis. Kevin Windham coming in hard right behind your leader, Chad Reed. They are 1 and 2. This is the 250 main from St. Louis, folks. And once again, Windham just lighting it up through the whoop section. Chad Reed may have the answer tonight, but if you want to watch a great finish, stay with us. Chad Reed, our leader on the 250 main. We'll be back to St. Louis right after this break. Welcome back to St. Louis, Missouri. Chad Reed continues to lead in the 250 main event with 13 laps to go. In second place, number 14, Kevin Windham out of Centerville, Mississippi. But Cameron and I have both noticed, and folks, maybe you at home have seen the same. Kevin Windham has something a little extra tonight, and Chad Reed does not look 100%.
Well, the injuries for Chad have to be playing on him a little bit, even though they're not serious injuries, so to say. Everybody we talked to with the team, you were talking about it, says he's sore. That could be a factor here in this main event. Kevin Windham has been riding great. Again, lap times don't matter to him. He just says he wants to go out and race the main event. It looks like in some places, Kevin is pulling up, possibly in the whoops. In other places, Chad is getting a little bit of distance on him. Very tight racing right now.
Well, Chad Reed is Australian. They are born tough, and Reed's showing it tonight. Here comes Windham. Once again, Windham trying to reel him into that whoop section. They are 1 and 2. Reed in first. Windham in second. Ramsey is in third as we go back to fifth place, and this is Byrne and LaRocco. LaRocco, congratulations to him, his 201st main start tonight, and he is in the battle once again.
And we talked about his injured ribs, and they don't seem to be a huge factor for him. Always known as a charger coming from the back of the pack, and a pass right there, getting by Michael Byrne and making it stick. So Burner, no slow rider. Mike LaRocco on his game tonight.
Mike LaRocco suffering some rib injuries earlier in the day with a little bit of a get-off during practice. Now he tries to reel in number 20. That's Damon Huffman. Huffman in a chase of his own, trying to track down that World Supercross GP title, and he's nursing a bad ankle. Folks, at this point in the season, everyone, it seems, Cameron, has some injuries or some kind of nagging problems like Chad Reed.
They've definitely been through their trials as we get farther along into the series. And Damon Huffman, a seasoned veteran, he knows get a good start, charge it, get out in front of the other competitors, especially the guys on the World Supercross Series. And you can see he's got some problems in his rearview mirror as Mike LaRocco is making a serious charge on the Moto Triple X rider. And there he goes to the inside. Huffman sweeping back in, and also a move in behind there. Looks like Hamlin and Byrne getting together.
Mike LaRocco making that pass stick on Damon Huffman. So two guys who have been around the sport for a long time doing battle, both of them battling injuries. Talking with Damon Huffman in his Moto Triple X trailer just before the racing. He was on the exercise bike, said it's definitely stiff. He's got a heavy tape job on that ankle, a little ibuprofen in the system. Mike LaRocco also, we saw him grimacing on the line. He's in a lot of pain, but he's out there for the 201st main start. And what can you say about these guys? These guys truly are the soul of the sport right now.
And LaRocco's lap times are coming in very good. Reed at a 48.9, Windham 1, and LaRocco at a 51.5, so back just a bit. Out of the fray, won't be able to make the move forward with those times, but he may be able to stay up there and maybe get to the podium. We'll see how Ramsey does, who's currently sitting in third.
On a night that Mike LaRocco has been celebrated, and for good reason, he has done something that no one else has done before, joining that 200 club, and he does it with ribs. Meanwhile, number 12, David Villeman on board the Yamaha, has moved up yet another position. So Villeman getting ahead of Hamlin and Byrne, trying to move up and get into this fray and make it back onto the podium. The Frenchman has shown flashes of brilliance early in the season. Meanwhile, number 26, Hamlin, is in there, and Heath Foss trying to move up. Now, he currently sits second, Cameron, in the World Supercross GP, so he wants to stay in contact with Damon Huffman.
And those two guys seemingly pulling out, you know, Grant Langston with a no-point situation in Atlanta definitely hurting him, and Voss has been getting better and better as the season goes on. You talk about riders that have been hurt, nagging injuries. Seems like Voss has just kind of been getting into his groove as we've been into these last few rounds.
Heath Voss sitting right behind number 26. That's Michael Byrne, Voss number 28 on board the Yamaha. And here comes Nick Way on that Suzuki, number 27. Nick Way, a crafty rider, looking for a line while Voss is trying to concentrate on Byrne. Here comes Way.
Going to the inside, Way keeping it real clean. You see him go to the inside there and slide out just a little bit. Hard when you get to the inside here. There's some loose dirt on the top. Riders are sliding around a bit, and you have to use the berms, and you see Heath Voss kind of wadding, pushing into that berm.
If you're just joining us, Chad Reed continues to lead. He has opened up a 2-second lead right now on Kevin Windham. We'll get back to that battle. There's Damon Huffman right now in a battle for 5th. And here comes the Cobra, David Villeman, trying to move up yet another spot.
DV12, you'd like to say he is one of the best riders in all of Supercross, and I will say that. Just that sometimes he doesn't come through with all the goods. He really just needs to get on the game and just push it all the time. I know he's doing it. He's raced Supercross. Right. Love to watch him ride, but just needs to get that little bit more aggression maybe.
He gets the pass done on Huffman, and with that we check in with Jamie Little.
Guys, it seems that David Villeman has changed things up a bit. David Bailey was not around this weekend. Word has it they are no longer working together. You wonder how that's affecting David Villeman. He no longer has that coach telling him to fight.
Thank you, Jamie. Had a chance to talk to David Villeman earlier in the day. He said, yeah, they have parted ways. Whether it's amicable or not, don't know, but he just felt like it was time for a change, and so we wish both of them the very best. Meanwhile, back to racing action. David Villeman currently sitting in 5th place. There you see his last lap time, 52.4. You rate that with what Chad Reed just turned in at 49.9. But Windham has turned in at 49.1, but he is starting to slide back, now back almost 8 seconds. So Chad Reed has done something. He has turned it up, and the Aussie sensation is out in front and absolutely flying. Chad Reed, your leader in the 250 main from St. Louis, Missouri. We'll find out if Kevin Windham has anything left for him in the last 6 laps. Come back to St. Louis right after this short break. St. Louis, Missouri in the Edward Jones Dome. Your leader continues to be Chad Reed here in the 250 main event with just about 4 laps to go. And Cameron, I don't know what it was. Maybe he got some Vegemite or something, because halfway through this race it looked like Kevin Windham was closing on him. And then all of a sudden he just gapped him, and now it's up to 8 seconds, now 13 seconds.
Well, Chad Reed, ever the master of Supercross. Everybody talks about the likeness to Jeremy McGrath in his style, and he knows how to put the Supercross together, not getting the triple run through there. Actually, riding right now behind Sean Hamlin, who's riding in 11th place. So Chad Reed has lapped up quite a bit and talked about possible soreness and injury, and I think Chad just has this sport dialed in.
No question about it. I think he's sore, but he continues to battle as we leave our leader and go back to Byrne and Short as we go back to them right now. This is the battle in 6th place. Michael Byrne currently sits in 6th. Andrew Short, number 32, sits in 7th.
And Andrew Short riding for the team MotoWorld.com team. And, you know, he rode on the West Coast, but we did see him on the East Coast as he makes the pass, or at least gets the wheel up on Byrne. We'll see if Michael Byrne has anything to answer for him. Ooh, Byrne has the inside line here, sweeps to the outside, and now maybe Andrew goes inside, takes him a little bit high, and gets on by.
So Andrew Short, number 32 on board the Suzuki, gets past number 26, Michael Byrne in his Kawasaki. Byrne has had some great battles tonight. Unfortunately, he's been on the end of the stick, but Andrew Short with some great moves right now. Michael Byrne can't cry over the spilled milk, because right behind him is Heath Voss and Nick Way closing in quick.
What I was saying about Andrew Short is we saw him in Europe on the 250. He looked great, and everybody talks about how much potential he has as a 250 rider, and he continues to prove it every time he gets on the big bike. Now look in there, Byrne is not totally giving up, but he's got his rearview mirror full of Heath Voss, which could be a problem. You got to ask yourself, is there maybe a conditioning issue with Michael Byrne, because he always looks so fast and so technical? Is he making mistakes, or is he just running out of steam?
Heath Voss at 8th, his last lap time at 53.3, and he is closing in for good reason, because he's trying to make up points for the World Supercross GP, whose current leader right now is Damon Huffman. Folks, if I haven't told you before, I'll tell you again, make sure you get your tickets for the upcoming races, especially Las Vegas, because it is going to be a great show once we get to the desert. But your leader continues to be Chad Reed as we come down to the final laps of this race. Reed out in front, Wyndham in second, and he's about 13 seconds behind. And Mike LaRocco now sits in fourth place. Just to give you a bit of recap, what can you say about Chad Reed? We talked too much about his injuries, too much maybe about his soreness. This is what he gets paid to do, and he's coming out and he's doing it tonight with the white flag.
It's like the beginning of the season when he wasn't riding. He had the pins in the shoulder, everybody's speculating. And you know what? When you're the guy that's leading the championship, you're winning all the races, you get a little bit of a problem. People are going to call it and say, hey, you know, he's got a problem. Can he ride through it?
Let's quickly check in with Jamie.
Hey, Todd, if you remember back to last year, St. Louis is where Chad Reed started his 6-win race streak. I should say 6-race win streak. And he went on to beat Ricky Carmichael every race through Vegas. You got to wonder if he's got his mind set on that championship and he's looking down the road.
Well, the gateway to the West has certainly been good for Chad Reed. Reed tonight picking up yet another victory. Let's Grant Langston go through. And Chad Reed, your winner in the 250 main, soreness and all. One of the toughest Australians, one of the toughest riders you will find anywhere. He'll be the first guy not to complain about any injury, Cameron. While everyone else was looking for excuses, Chad Reed just went out and looked for the checkered flag.
Polished and smooth at the hardest sport in the world, just so technical. And Mike LaRocco coming around for the finish. He's got to be sore.
Ramsey goes through. He picked up the Butterfinger hole shot. Here's Mike LaRocco, folks. He won't get on the podium, but 201 main event starts. Give a lot of credit to Mike LaRocco. What a great night we've had tonight here in St. Louis. We'll step aside, take care of a few business matters. When we come back, we'll talk to our winner, Chad Reed, as well as the rest of the podium. Stay with us. We're back after this.